You let out a groan as you slowly got up from bed. Fuck, if I knew this would happen, I would have stayed inside my father's nunsack. You mumbled as you remembered what happened last night. Yen? Melanie spoke out as she barged inside your room. You turned to her. Where were you last night? She asked. I didn't feel well, so I just left. You replied, not daring to tell her what happened to you as you didn't want to even remember it. Really? She asks. You nodded. All right, well, breakfast is ready, so come and eat, she added, not pushing you to tell her what happened. You slowly got out of bed. Thankfully, today was Saturday, meaning you didn't have to bother going to school. You let out a sigh as you fixed yourself up a little bit and wore some decent but comfortable clothes. You soon left your room and headed to where Ami and Melanie were. Good morning, Yen. Ami greeted you. Morning, Ami, you replied as you yawned. Going somewhere? Melanie asked. You nodded. Yep, I go out and walk around the park for a bit, you replied as you headed for the door. Ami raised an eyebrow. Are you not going to eat breakfast? She asked. No worries, I will. I'll just be gone for about 10 minutes, you replied. You really are like my mommy, you added with a chuckle. I know, right? Melanie agreed with your comment. Ami only rolled her eyes at that comment. You soon left the apartment and headed to the park. As you arrived, you saw Yurichi and with Dumbass Dog and Killer 9000. You quickly freeze as you remember what happened last night. Fuck, this is embarrassing as fuck, you thought. As you were distracted by Yurichi, you didn't even notice Dumbass Dog looking at the listeners. Hey, baby boy or girl. Are you proud of me, baby? I'm protecting Yin. He spoke out while with a fuck boy face. Demon Killer 9000 looked at Dumbass Dog with a weird out face. If anyone asks, I don't know him, he commented. How are you feeling? He asks. All right. Thanks for asking. And thank you for yesterday too. You replied. What happened yesterday? Well, when he found you, he hugged you until you calmed down. He listened to your story and offered to let you shower at his house, to which you thanked him for. He also let you borrow his clothes. He suggested you sleeping on his bed while he sleeps on his couch, but you insisted that you wanted to go home. He respected your decision and escorted you home. Yurichi stared at you. He wasn't convinced you were suspect anymore, but there was still a lingering feeling. Lingering thought that you would have been the serial killer. What he didn't know was it wasn't just one killer doing all these killings. There were multiple. 14 to be exact. Time skip. Are you sure this is how we should do it? Yin's recipe told us to preheat the oven. Gyu spoke out. Fuck the recipe. Are you going to be a submissive person and follow the recipe told you? Sanmi replied. Yes, Gyu said, unsure. That's not how you do it. We should just follow what her recipe says, Obanai commented. Okay then, how about you bake the cake yourself, huh? Sanmi glared at Obanai. Obanai only rolled his eyes. I'm using my common sense. I know you know how to cook, but you can't apply the same rules of cooking into baking, Obanai replied. Now you may ask, why are they baking? Well, do you remember that time Sanmi asked for your help to bake a cake? This was it. It's the project from Taki, a baking project where they can bake a cake. So the three of them are now trying to bake in Obanai's apartment. Sanmi only rolled his eyes. Well, whatever. We already put the cake in the oven like 10 minutes ago. There's no going back, he commented. Oh, well, the cake looks all right, Obanai mumbled. Maybe they were going through the correct path. That was until after an hour. Fuck. It tastes horrible and the texture is... Sanmi mumbled. Gyu didn't hesitate to puke in the sink while Obanai is still processing what the fuck he had just gotten inside of his mouth. When I bake cookies with Yin, it tastes good. So why is this so fucking horrible? Obanai mumbled. The three of them were dumbasses when it came to cooking. And they would agree that it was right thing to do it in the end. Neither of them was correct, as the three of them stared at each other, thinking about the authority they had the audacity, I think that's how you say it, they had just baked. The three of them used their single brain cell that they shared to think about how to pass this project. If only we knew someone who could bake, Guillaume mumbled. Their eyes soon widened as the three of them came to a conclusion. Oh shit, that was that fuck. Sorry, guys. Yin, they said in unison. Time skip. This shit makes me... You spoke out as you gagged. What the fuck is this? You commented as you slipped out the cake they bake. Stop being dramatic. Our cake isn't that bad. Sanmi defended their cake. Oh, please, stop making excuses. You told Sanmi as you crossed your arms. Now listen carefully. Listen well. I'm going to teach you dumbasses how to bake a cake. You spoke out proudly. Oh, right. Yin, before that, where were you last night? Obadiah asked. You froze. Yeah, I didn't get to see you the whole night. Where were you? Sanmi asks. I didn't feel well, so I just went home. You replied, as you felt the three of them stare at you. You shouldn't have given us a heads up, or told Sir Ubershiki about it, Gyu suggested. I'll be sure to keep that in mind, you replied. All right then, how about you start teaching us? Obanite changed the subject as he noticed that you were uncomfortable. Right, Gyu, go wash the tools. Sami, go crack some eggs and separate the white from the yellow. Let's redo the frosting, and Obanite, clean the kitchen, you commanded them. They all nodded their heads and started doing what you told them to. Thank goddess I found out and killed one of them, Gyu thought. I'm sure breaking her limbs is enough as a warning. Sanmi thought. Should I kill the one in my basement or torture them more? Obanai thought. Well, whatever, they won't bother Yin anymore. They thought in unison. You didn't waste any time and looked at the ingredients they had picked. There was vanilla extract, the flour enough to make a vanilla cake. There were also some strawberries. These ingredients were enough to make a vanilla shortcake. Let's bake a vanilla shortcake, you suggested, as you turned to the three of them. Sure, you're the boss anyways, Obanai replied, while Gyu and Sanmi nodded in agreement. Strawberry cake it is, you mumbled. You soon walked up to Sanmi, who finished separating the white from the yolk. He soon moved on to making the frosting. You noticed that the mixer he was using was too fast. You should slow down with that, you commented. It'll be fine, Yin, he insisted. You rolled your eyes as you knew it was a recipe for disaster. I'm serious, Nami, you replied. Gyu and Obanai got jealous as soon as they heard your nickname for him. Why does he have a nickname and I don't? The two of them thought in sync. You're worrying too much, Yin. Oh, shit, he cursed as the frosting got sprayed into you over how fast he was mixing. You let out a groan. You're worrying too much, Yin, you mocked him. Sorry, he whispered. You rolled your eyes. Ugh, whatever. Obanai, can I take a bath in your bathroom? You asked. Sure, he replied, as he led you to where his bathroom was. He led you to his bathroom. His bathroom was filled with posters of fictions and bedroom. Sorry, holy shit. Sorry. He led you to his bedroom. His bedroom was filled with posters of fiction and novels he liked. It had a black and white aesthetic. There was also a specific place in his room dedicated to Kamarabu. The snake seemed to be resting, so you didn't bother it. It's just on that door over there. I'll go get you some of my spare clothes and a towel. I'll just leave it on my bed. He spoke out. You nodded as you soon headed to his bathroom. Hope and I walked up to his closet. The thought of you using his soap, his shampoo, his clothes made him so happy. It felt like you two were an actual couple. Like you came to his apartment to hang out, watch TV, watch anime, or read books. It made him so happy. He also cleaned his bathroom this morning and hasn't used it since. Meaning whatever hair is left on his drain, it isn't his. He'll be sure to collect your hair whenever it came from head or down under. He thought, oh God, we're shit. Ooh. After some time, you finished taking a bath. You peeked outside the bathroom door to see no one, and his door to his bedroom was closed. You let out a sigh of relief and soon started wearing the clothes Obanai had given you. As soon as you finished putting it on, you took a good look at the clothes he had given you. It was black hoodie with a snake design, paired with gray sweatpants. It was absolutely comfortable. You soon noticed that Obanai had left a plastic bag for you to place your clothes in. You were thankful for it. You soon heard a knock on the door. Yin, are you done? Obanai asked. Yep, you replied as you walked up to the door and unlocked it. His eyes soon laid upon you. His heart soon started racing at the sight of you wearing his clothes. If it wasn't for the mask he was wearing, you would have seen his cheeks stained with red. He stuttered. Why, do I look adorable? You teased him. No, he replied. Your lie is so obvious. You laughed. Stop laughing. I can't help but be embarrassed when I'm with you. He mumbled the last sentence. You frowned your eyebrows as you heard that line before. Oh my God, you thought. That line was from the game. When you were in Obanai's route and the player visits the apartment and hangs out, the player gets food spilled onto their clothes and had to take a bath. When Obanai sees them wearing his clothes, he gets embarrassed and comments about the effect the player has on him. He then stared at you with an embarrassed facial expression. Isn't this when Obanai kisses the player in a super secret alternate rare scene? What the fuck? You thought. You noticed Obanai take a step closer. Come on, let's go see Giyu and Sanmi's progress, you told him as you walked past him. Not today, God Games, you thought. I'm getting out of this fucking game without getting friend-zoned, bitch. You thought, with passion coursing through your veins. As soon as you headed to where Giyu and Sanmi were, they looked at you. It was safe to say they were jealous. You noticed them staring at you. What, is there something on my face? You asked. No, Giyu replied while Sanmi stayed quiet. As Obanai watches you leave, she completely ignored my scene, he thought as he felt hurt by your actions. Time skip. You let out a sigh. Just bear with it, Yin. Christmas break is next week. You thought. You let out a sigh as it was time for school again. You awkwardly stood in the stall, avoiding eye contact with the students. Yin! A familiar voice spoke out. You looked up to see Zenitsu. Oh, hey, Zenitsu. You greeted him. I'm sure you're aware of the cake baking project, right? He asks. You nodded. Well, my group and I made a vanilla lava cake. I made a mini one just for you. This one is special since it has a special ingredient original lava cake doesn't have. I made it for you. He spoke out. His face was all red from embarrassment. Your eyes widened. Oh, well, thanks. I almost said it's on me again. Zenitsu, you smiled at the gift. I'm gonna puke at this comment. I'm so thankful I got up at 4 a.m. just to make it. I'm sure my gum will comfort her from what happened to her last night, he thought, as his face was filled with excitement, happiness, and embarrassment. The school bell soon rang. Oh, well, it's time for my class, Zenitsu. I'll talk to you later, you told him. He nodded his head and soon left. As you walked up to your class, you stopped in your tracks as you noticed that the poster of Miyuku was removed. You raised an eyebrow. Hey, why was Miyaku's poster removed? You asked a student who was passing by. They stared at you confused. Who's Miyuku? You asked. Huh? What do you mean? Don't you guys like her? You asked. Well, we don't know her. Besides, we're going to be late for our class, they replied as they brushed you off. What the fuck is happening? Why don't they know Miyuku? Is this a dream? A sick prank? You thought as you were becoming anxious. Yin, there you are. A familiar voice spoke out. You turned around to see Kojo. You let out a sigh of relief. Kojo, oh thank goodness. Do you have any idea as to why they removed Miyuku's poster? You asked. Miyuku? You replied, confused. You know, the girl who was the principal's niece? You stuttered as you were growing anxious. The principal doesn't have a niece, Yan. We also don't have a student named Miyuku. Did you have a bad dream about it? Kojo asks, with an ominous smile.